first, we'll start things out with the Big Ten. And we got two teams in the Big Ten West that played this past weekend in West Lafayette, Indiana. Illinois was going on the road to play up against Purdue. Both teams have not won a game in conference play prior to the start of this ball game. But this was an interesting game. So the line, according to Caesars, it finalized as an even. So it was essentially a pick'em game. So it really could have gone in either direction, but I don't think anyone was really predicting a blowout by either team. Purdue made it a blowout in the second half, right? Now, Purdue, they do have a brand new coach, Ryan Walters. He's taking over after the previous coach did head down to Louisville. The Louisville coach now has his guys at 5-0. It took a while for Purdue to get going in terms of playing at that highest level necessarily. It took 4.5 games to do it, but in that second half, I think Purdue played at its highest level the entire season. And we saw what this team could have been capable of when it's rolling on all cylinders. This is a team that could make some noise in the Big Ten West. It is a weaker division than the Big Ten East, obviously. I think no one is really disputing that at this point. Last year, by the way, that we have divisions in the Big Ten with USC, UCLA, Washington, and Oregon. Those four teams who all ranked or should be ranked, by the way, they are all coming to the Big Ten. So the divisions will be no more. So in terms of making it to a conference championship, this is the last best shot for any team in the Big Ten West. So what happened in this game? How did this end up turning into the blowout that it turned out to be? Well, it starts with their quarterback, Hudson Card. He finally found a rhythm on that Saturday afternoon in West Lafayette, Indiana. Hudson Card threw multiple touchdown passes to start that third quarter. One to Devin Maccabee, one to Dylan Downing, and another one to Tyrone J.C. Jr. Big performance there by Hudson Card there. Best performance of the season. Was efficient with the ball too. 18 for 26, 217 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Like I said, that was his highest rated game this season. His rating of 164.7 was the highest. Took care of the ball too. No turnover, so you love to see that. One of the higher completion percentages too. So Hudson Card, first and foremost, took real good care of the football, and this was the best game that we saw Hudson Card play as a Boilermaker. As you may know, Hudson Card spent his first 3 seasons at the University of Texas, had some time in mop-up, basically in backup duties to Quinn Ewers, and then transferred to Purdue with Peyton Manning's nephew coming to Texas, Archie Manning. His name was escaping me for a split second. And this was a big game for both teams. I mean, Wisconsin, they were off this week. They're currently at the top of the Big Ten West as of right now. They are 1-0. So Purdue winning this game keeps them in the hunt in terms of that Big Ten West moving forward. Certainly still a winnable division. No one is a clear-cut favorite, I would say, to win the West just yet. So keep an eye on that race in the Big Ten West to see what happens there. So, but what also happened other than Hudson Card playing one of his better games in a Purdue jersey? Illinois just had way too many miscues in this game. Illinois in this game had 9 penalties. They also allowed 5 sacks as well. They turned over the football multiple times. They fumbled the ball 3 times. Thankfully, only one of those turns into fumble loss. Don't know how that happens, but they got lucky on that front. Not so lucky is on third downs. on third downs, Illinois was just 1 for 13. So they shot themselves in the foot multiple times, and Illinois is just not good enough of a football team to have all of those errors and still expect to compete in games, let alone win games. I think we're starting to see that maybe that team that we saw in that last third of the season is more indicative of what they are as a program compared to that strong start that they had at the beginning of last season. They don't have that same level of NFL talent that's on the roster. Notably, Devin Witherspoon was on this team last year, but yeah, that was a rough look for Illinois. So what also happened in this game? Yeah, it was the miscues that was the biggest difference. Total yards about the same. Purdue had just over 400 yards. Illinois with 375 and the same number of turnovers. Time possession was actually kind of similar too. Purdue had the edge. They handled the ball for roughly 32 minutes in this game compared to Illinois' 28. So that was really the big thing was just it's too many mistakes, too many miscues. And because of that, this is actually a little bit of a rivalry game, a little bit of a trophy game involved. Fourth year in a row, Purdue is going to reclaim the cannon. So that's going back to Purdue's campus. And Brett Bielema, he needs to find some answers and find them pretty quickly because it's not going to get that much easier. I'll kind of lie to better. So Illinois, so what's happening for them moving forward? They will go back home. They'll take on Nebraska. Nebraska also got shell-shocked by Michigan, so it could be a little bit of a get-right game. Nebraska has not won a single game in Big Ten conference play yet. As for Purdue, Purdue could put themselves in the thick of the Big Ten West conversation, depending on what they do next weekend themselves. Because Purdue, they go on the road. They're going to take on Iowa. Iowa has not been the most consistent team offensively this season, so they can find a way to score against that vaunted Iowa defense. Maybe they can find a way to win that game, but Purdue will likely be considered an underdog in that matchup. That is expected to happen over in Kinnick Stadium. One last thought that I did have, Luke Altmaier, he was okay in this game. 16 for 23 for 25, 202 yards, a touchdown. Isaiah Williams went off. He had 6 catches for 113 yards, but just simply wasn't enough as Illinois could not find any offensive rhythm, particularly in that second half of the ball game.